Welcome everybody to the Fixasport Football Network, the podcast, and this is your host Tabi, and this is the first episode. So thank you very much for the birthday wishes. For the birthday wishes, and I hope I save this date. I gotta save this date somewhere and write it down. But anyway, um, this is not live. Unlike the live stand-up commentary that we do on various matches, you can catch it on the same YouTube channel under the playlist live commentary streams, and we do like live commentary for the various matches. But this will be the podcast first episode where we'll be discussing like the headlines and of the previous footballing week or sports week headlines, and like much more, I guess, and we're just gonna get straight into it so that you guys understand what this podcast is about and what it's going to be about for like ever. Did he say forever? Forever, right? So we're gonna get straight into it, and the first story that we're gonna discuss, or that's hitting my head or my brain, or that's like circulating around my head, if you guys care. But you care if you're listening, and that's good for me and for you. I hope so. But anyway, the first story, if you like, I guess you're listening from around the world, the first story is gonna be like Tom Brady. We're gonna start off with like a story that's not about football, well, it's about football, but it's about like the American football, the one that they play in the States. And the first story is about like fans would say a GOAT in that sport, right? Tom Brady. You can just Google him and check like what he's about. We don't really follow like the American football that much here, but it's a good story because like he announced his retirement like a while back, and this was before the final. The final of the Super Bowl, I guess the league, the American Football League, which is called the Super Bowl playoffs. It's basically the final of that league, right? So he announces his retirement before then, and we're like, cool. But who's we? Fuck. And I was like, okay, cool. Like a GOAT is retiring, and like dope. I just thought it's a bit weird that he's doing it before a final, because I think this was the first final he hasn't been in like a while, or in like forever, because I guess it's been like in numerous, like every second season a final and something like that. So this was the first final he hasn't been. It's like Messi not winning the Ballon d'Or, right? So, and not even coming second, right? So he announces his retirement before the final the final happens. And to tell you the truth, man, if that Super Bowl halftime show with Snoop and Dr. Dre and Mary J and Kendrick, Eminem, Slim, if 50 Cent, if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have known that the final was going on, But I did see Tom Brady's retirement, because he's such a big name in the sport, right? But anyway, cool. Long career, great, retires, it's fine, right? Well, fast forward like 2 months later, and the guy says he's back. He's back. So Tom Brady is back. So Tom Brady is out of retirement now, and the guy's back. I'm not understanding why, but I think I'll get to it in a second, yo. In a second. Not a second, but a couple of more, several seconds more, several minutes, really. Get back to the subject about why this GOAT, we think, or I think, has come back to play, but it was weird like how he did it before the final. I mean, that's like attention hogging a bit, I think, but anyway, so the next topic will be another great this time, and we're talking about a footballing great, world football, great, which is the great Lionel Messi, the basically the best player of all time, getting booed, for his match, playing for PSG against it was FC Nantes, I believe. Even though they won the game 3-0, and they all booed every time he was in possession. He got booed. So I guess this was. Well, first of all, it's like fine. I don't feel good when Messi's booed or like a good player, is booed, but it's like I feel like it was because of like the previous game, which was like an important final, which a final that was like, it wasn't even a final. It was like a round of 16, tie, second leg tie against like Real Madrid for the UEFA Champions League. And if you follow with us, we did the live stream, but the reason we don't do this show live, the reason I don't do this show live is because I have sound problems and the sound keeps messing with my laptop and it like jams and shit like that. It's always jamming, man. Anyway, that's a fucking cool. Alright, sorry, like talking about jamming. Yeah, it's always jamming if I do the live stream. So like I'm trying to fix that with my live streams at the moment, so I was not gonna do this show live because I want it to be like straight and flowing and no like everything, like know that. So we're talking about Lionel Messi, the great, getting booed for his game against Nantes, and we're saying that it was because of the match that he played against Real Madrid, right? The match that his fans, or the PSG fans at least, expected to win, because they were a goal up going into the tie, and in the second leg, in the first half, they were a goal up, so they were basically 2 goals up, and they fluffed it. They bottled it, in the words of Mr. Stevie, right? They bottled it, man. Right, so I guess they were angry about that. I mean, I was a little upset. I stopped supporting PSG for that reason. But I don't know if it was right to boo. Or like, who gives a fuck? Like, it's how the fans felt, and it was a disappointing game. And he's a professional, and they should deal with it. The question is like, what happens from now? Because like, we expected them to win the league. We expected PSG to win the league. That's what we all expected, right? And they're doing it, right? But we want, I guess. Okay, we knew they were gonna win the league. We expected them to win the Champions League, right? We knew they were gonna win the league. We expected them to win the Champions League. That's why Messi went there. That's why the team was being built. That's why the greatest front three on paper, was being built. Kylian Mbappe, Neymar, and Lionel. So failing to reach the quarterfinals and being knocked out, being 2 goals ahead, right? And being knocked out in the round of 16, that's a huge disappointment, man. Like, I don't give a fuck who you are or what team. Like, if you have those 3 players and you have that advantage over a team, right? You shouldn't, that was bad, right? And I get why they want to boo like Lionel, because he missed in the first leg. He missed the penalty, right? So the fans feel they should have been up like 2 goals up going into the second leg, right? But you didn't boo Kylian, and Kylian missed 2 crucial opportunities in the first half that PSG, in the second leg, that PSG should have been like up 3 goals, 3 goals to 0. And that's after this. Bear in mind, this is after the first leg where we said, okay, fine, or where basically the pundits agree that fine, Lionel Messi is not gonna do what he does, which is score like over like 60 goals, 90 goals a year. At this age, He'll provide. And that's what he did in the second leg, in the first half, right? He provided. And Kylian had 2 opportunities, right? 3 opportunities, he only bagged 1. Right? 2 clear-cut opportunities. Never mind the one that he was offside for, which would have been like 4 opportunities. And now, like, in the first half, PSG should have been up 3-0, right? So, fair enough. Disappointing, PSG go out. Messi getting booed, Neymar getting booed. But why is Kylian not getting booed, yo? Why? Is because you want to keep him for some reason? Like, fuck. They all messed up. They all fluffed. It's a team effort. Right? It's a fucking team effort. You know what I mean? So, that's our 2 cents on that game. But, yo, shout out to Suarez, just reminding everyone that, you know, even though on paper, via stats, man, right? Via stats, the MMN, Messi, Mbappe, and Neymar is the best on paper, but the MSN, Messi, Suarez, and Neymar is the best in history, right? Just reminding people that don't forget about that, and you know, when you boo the guy, right? And now we off to another great. Yo, this is 3 greats in a row, like GOATs, you know. And we're talking about the great Cristiano Ronaldo. If you didn't hear, if you were living under a rock the past past 3 days, you know, past 3 days, this guy sank Tottenham, you know. He sank Tottenham, and I gotta give him credit. Like we had Tottenham to like draw the first half at least, you know, or draw the match, you know. But the GOAT just came out. Before we go into that, this is where like the 2 stories are gonna come together now, right? Before the United versus Tottenham match, EPL match, which was crucial, yo, because this was a top 4 fight, you know, Champions League football, what both those teams want, what both those managers, you know, want. I'm not sure about Ralph, but, you know, his team wants it, but, you know, on the other side, Tottenham, the team wants it, and the manager, like, has UEFA Champions League credentials, yeah. So that's why it was crucial, and they were not so far apart with Tottenham a game in hand, right, going into the tie, yeah. So 20 minutes before the game, it is one GOAT meets with another, you know, and who's the farm, we don't know, but one GOAT meets with another. Tom Brady meets with Cristiano Ronaldo, like, before the game starts, right? And I guess they were just discussing shit, you know, GOAT shit, you know, GOAT shit, man. They were discussing that shit, and the game started, yo. The game started, and like that's when Ronaldo began just poking at that ship. He didn't like he blasted a ball into Tottenham's ship, yo. Tottenham was like sailing, and he basically blasted a ball. I don't know how many yards out, but if you watch like football, soccer, if you watch that sport, you'll know that you have the 18-yard area and you have the big box, right? And then he was like, I would say 5-6 meters outside the keeper's box, yo, the big box, right? And he strikes the ball with so much venom, like he usually does, right? So it's like a wonderful layoff pass from, I think Fred it was, and Ronaldo just takes it into his stride and just puts the ball in front of him, like let's say like a 30 centimeters like in front of him, and just blasts the ball, yo. And if you just have to see the like the swerve on the ball, and like you just have to know physics and like to understand what happened there and why it happened. So anyway, the ball goes past the keeper, like Shaolin soccer's past the keeper, yo. right? And it's 1-0, United, Ronaldo, right? Play continues, Tottenham looking like edgy, looking competitive, I have to say. Get a goal back, and it's 1-1, But just after Tottenham, get a goal back, took them a while. The man again, in the right spot at the right time, just puts it in for a tap in, and it's 2-1 United going into halftime, right? They have the match, basically, right? Inspiring performance, inspiring first half performance. Never mind the fact that second half comes back, right? And of course, Harry Kane has to be on the score sheet, right? A pressure from Tottenham, and Maguire puts in an own goal, and it's 2-2, But who is it to rescue? Like, you guessed the fuck out of it, man. It is CR7, right? Gets a goal for his hat trick, man of the match performance, greatest performance of Premier League this season, basically, right? And who's sitting there, up there in the stands, watching? The American football great Tom Brady, right? So I guess after this, he's just like, fuck. It's like, if I was him, I would have been inspired, yo. Because Ronaldo's 37, right? Tom is, I don't know, but in his late 30s, if I'm not mistaken, right? And he's like, I'm taller than Ronaldo too, so why did I stop? From that point of view, I understand why he would come back after announcing his retirement just before the Super Bowl final playoff, right? Because that was a fucking inspiring performance, from CR7, who he just looked, he was on fire that game, and sends United, I don't know, it doesn't send them anyway, but it just puts them in their competitive spot for top 4 Champions League football, On the log, it just doesn't send them anyway. That's what, but they're not behind, they're not ahead. That's what I'm saying, So yeah, and for Tottenham, it gets you wondering that what is Tottenham's mission at the moment, because now they just have one game in hand, and they basically 6 points or 3 points off the top 4 position, right? And they're losing games, right? So what's Tottenham's mission? What is the players' mission? And for sure, Harry Kane is now wondering, what is the team's mission? I thought we were going somewhere. I thought we were going into top 4, but it's starting to seem quite this, starting to seem like a bit more work, right? So now the moving questions will start to sink into your center forwards, your goal scorer's mind, and that's what you don't want, So that, as a former United fan, United being my ex-wife, right? Long story, they fired Jose Mourinho after winning titles, and no one has won since then. I guess that you summarized it up, but right? What's the mission? And just gotta get the act together. As my former teachers used to say, you gotta pull up your socks, Tottenham Hotspur, right? Else you're gonna lose. If you lose Kane, there's no more goals. I mean, this guy was so at the not even featuring in the top goal scorers list. Himself and Ronaldo, I have to say, not even featuring in the top 10 top goal scorers list in the Barclays Premier League this season. And for some reason they're up there, top 6. They're up there. Making Mo Salah nervy. Up there giving Mo Salah a run. A fucking run for his money. believe you me, Mo Salah's taking all Liverpool penalties from now on. I tell you what, unless he's not on the field, he's taking that penalty. Bet your ass off. Right, so what's Tottenham's mission, right? So, like, you know, it just gets you wondering, man, like, because they have the potential and they were looking like you beat Manchester City, and now you you should have gotten something out of, like, the game. Like most of the pundits are saying, respect to all of them, like, you know, right? Because now Arsenal are looking to be the ones to get the top 4 position. Yeah? I still don't think they will. I think Tottenham will still give them a run for their money because it's tight. United, Arsenal, Tottenham, it is fucking tight, right? But Arsenal's form as of recent, you know, makes up for that fucking horrible form at the start of the season. It makes up for that 2-0 loss to Brentford, a newly promoted side, that being number 13, number 14, you know, on the log, talking relegation, threatened Arsenal at some point, right? It's more like the neighbours are facing relegation now, huh? No, not the neighbours, I mean the rivals, you know, are facing it, but we'll talk about it later. But yeah, it is Arsenal, you know, that are looking the more solid team at the current moment, more than United and more than Tottenham, yo. But you know, you never know with football. It's just the current moment as it is, and that's how it is, basically, right? That's how it is. Right. So what else we have to talk about? We talked about Lionel Messi getting, we addressed that, Lionel Messi getting booed, you know, the 2 GOATs meeting up and 1 GOAT coming out of the retirement, you know, Arsenal being strong, Tottenham have to, like, pull up your socks, like, Tottenham, yo, right? Like, what I'm telling you, I'm telling myself as well, you know, but, yeah. So whatever, doesn't stop me from saying it, right? Oh, stop me, man! Anyway. Yeah, and now we have a Chelsea situation, but for the purpose of, like, you know, the sensitive nature of the situation, we're gonna have someone, a fan, you know, that's in tune with the sensitive nature of this football club. You know, we're gonna ask him. We're gonna have him tell us what he has to say for this matter. And if you don't know what we're talking about like Roman Abramovich deciding to leave the club because of possible links, right, to a certain shall not be named, and then, right, the FA or the UK government being like, okay, that's not enough, we're gonna sanction the club, so you won't be able to do this and this and this, and so you won't be able to get proceeds from the match. So that's basically the situation. And like, we're just gonna have a Chelsea fan just tell us, moving on to the Chelsea fan, what's his name? Oh, the Chelsea fan decides to be addressed as anonymous. Okay, to the Chelsea fan now. Hey, Mr. Chelsea fan. Hey, man. Hey, so like you've been like having quite, like, just tell us like the current situation at the club, man. I mean, just tell us the current situation at the club. Oh, man. The situation at the club, man, is that, like, I feel like we're being bullied, man. Right? It's not fair, man, that Mr. Roman decided to, like, leave the club, man, and said, man, I don't want any of this shit anymore, man. And so he just decided to leave the club, and like the UK government was like, yeah, man, that's not enough, man. We're gonna sanction you, man. And like with all these things, like we can't do, man. Like how the fuck we supposed to compete, man? Right? I mean, they said all these things, man, like on the club, man. Like I just don't get it. I just feel like we're being bullied, man. Right? Like we just the football club, and it's just a game, man. Whoa. Okay, that was a pretty passionate speech from the Chelsea fan Anonymous. I don't think we should even say his oh shit. Okay, Anonymous, right? And so yeah, that's how we're gonna end this first episode of the Fixasport Football Network, the podcast. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you guys in the second episode. I promise it will be a good one. Thanks very much. See you guys then.